Hello.
All right, so you are joining us for bedtime story time.
Hello.
It's actually 9:31. This is the real time.
Yeah, it's really late. All right, so we are going to read The Sun Stops Shining. So you're a king, are you? The Roman soldiers jeered. Then you'll need a crown and a robe. They gave Jesus a crown made out of thorns and put a purple robe on him. They pretended to bow down to him. Your Majesty, they said. Then they whipped him and spat on him. Do you know what spat means?
No.
Spit. Yeah, don't really spit on me. They didn't understand that this was the Prince of Life, the King of heaven and earth, who had come to rescue them. The soldiers made him a sign, "Our King," and nailed it to a wooden cross. They walked up a hill outside the city. Jesus carried the cross on his back. Jesus had never done anything wrong, but they were going to kill him the way criminals were killed. So here's a picture of Jesus climbing up, carrying a cross that they're going to nail his body to. They nailed Jesus to the cross. "Father, forgive them," Jesus gasped.
That was bad that you really did that in real life.
Well, that's what happened to Jesus in real life, bud. Isn't that sad? Okay, I'll show you the picture that Tice is talking about, and then I'll show it to you again in a minute.
Never do that to anybody.
Yeah.
But that's what they did to Jesus.
Never, ever.
"Father, forgive them," Jesus gasped. "They don't understand what they're doing." "You say you've come to rescue us," people shouted, "but you can't even rescue yourself." But they were wrong. Jesus could have rescued himself. A legion of angels could have flown to his side if he'd called. "If you were really the Son of God, you would just climb down off the cross," they said. And of course, they were right. Jesus could have just climbed down. Actually, he could have just said a word and made it all stop. Like when he healed that little girl and stilled the storm and fed 5,000 people. Remember, Jesus is so powerful. But Jesus stayed. You see, they didn't understand. It wasn't the nails that kept Jesus there. It was love. "Papa," Jesus cried, searching the sky. "Papa, where are you? Don't leave me." For the first time and the last, when he spoke, nothing happened. Just a horrible, endless silence. God didn't answer. He turned away from his boy. Tears rolled down Jesus' face, the face of the one who would wipe away every tear from every eye. So you can see he's got tears in his eyes, and he's all beat up because they beat him, and the crown of thorns, and on the top it says, "Our King." Even though it was midday, a dreadful darkness covered the face of the world. The sun could not shine. The earth trembled and quaked. The great mountain shook. Rocks split in two.
We don't have more.
Did you hear that? Rocks split in two pieces, until it seemed like the whole world would break. That creation itself would tear apart. The full force of the storm of God's fierce anger at sin was coming down on his own Son instead of his people. It was the only way God could destroy sin and not destroy his children whose hearts were filled with sin. Then Jesus shouted out in a loud voice, "It is finished." And it was. He had done it. Jesus had rescued the whole world. "Father," Jesus cried, "I give you my life." And with a great sigh, he let himself die. Strange clouds and shadows filled the sky, purple, orange, black, like a bruise. Oh, look what they're about to do. Jesus' friends gently carried Jesus. They laid Jesus in a new tomb carved out of rock. How could Jesus die? What had gone wrong? What did it mean? They didn't know anything anymore, except they did know their hearts were breaking. "That's the end of Jesus," the leader said. But just to be sure, they sent strong soldiers to guard the tomb. They hauled a huge stone in front of the door of the tomb so that no one could get in or out. So there's the stone being rolled in front of the tomb because they did not want anyone to go in or out. And that's the end. That's all we're going to read today. So it's sad that Jesus died on the cross and those beatings that Jesus had and the crown on his head. And it's so sad that those things happened to Jesus.
There were 2 more days. You'll come out the grass.
One more.
Oh, yeah. Well,
When we're in tomorrow's Resurrection Eggs, day 14.
That's right. But Titus is right, because what we just read happened on Good Friday. And then tomorrow we get to read, because Titus said in 2 days, 3 days, so it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 days, Jesus rised again. You're right, Titus. All right. Can you tell everybody bye?
Bye! I'll see you again later.
Me too.